Welcome everyone to a special episode of Cosplayers Paradigm. If you're not aware of it, unfortunately, in the cosplay community, we had a rising star that unfortunately faded away a little too soon. Um, Cosplayer Squid Kid 1111, unfortunately, was attacked but through racism and bullying, and that should not be not something we never have to deal with. But unfortunately, it is still around this day and age. So we wanted to go ahead and talk about that subject. I'll talk about Ash and a little bit more. Today with me, I have three wonderful cosplayers who've been in the community for a while, who've had experiences, and we're here to discuss this. So, welcome everyone.
Thank you.
Hello.
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 And before we get started, I did go ahead and talk to a different cosplayer on TikTok, and they brought me to a couple of different posts that they went ahead and did about Ash, and I'd love to share those in just a moment here if you wouldn't mind. So the first one right here, here we go.
Chat, this video today is going to be about the beautiful cosplayer Ash who just recently passed away. This isn't the video of me talking about them directly, but I just want to show a video, a message that their father had to the rest of the world. That was absolutely beautiful. I cried a few times during this service, mind you, but this video had me in tears.
I've had a very strong fortitude. We've dealt with a lot of things in this family. And that doesn't bode well for someone that is very genuinely soft in heart. She was pure at heart. I had to learn to meet that. And this isn't about me. This is about us seeing the Ashleys and others I've spoken with that are going through things where we need to soften up a bit and hear a bit better. Ashley's biggest takeaway for me, it wasn't about I, it was about we. It wasn't about them, it was about us. It was inclusive. It was, I don't care what you are, whatever that means, color, race, gender, religion. I just want to be accepted, and I want to be loved, and I want to share that authentically with you. It's not difficult. In context of where we live now, in this current climate, yes, there are some challenges, but for each of us, we can make a choice to do so. My goal now is to make sure I'm taking time to see things differently, to recognize the strongest amongst us, the Ashleys amongst us, that are right now needing us. There's others now, and that's why we pulled out the phone numbers, et cetera, for those that are struggling. This is real. It's not a game. This is not made up. We can't, oh, she's so pretty to smile. We have to be real about this, and we've got to take the stigma away for people that are struggling. So I say that only to say, please see everyone, ask deeper questions, be sincere, be more genuine, be more authentic, learn from Ashley. She's taught me so much. And I ask us that we recognize that and let that legacy live forward. So if there's opportunity, all of us have platforms of some sort. We have teachers here, professors, we have all types of individuals here that have platforms, churches, etc. I just ask that we find a way to let her legacy not end today. This is only the start of continuing her life beyond 20 years. That we reach out and again see those that are hurting, see those that may need just a phone call, a check-in. Hey, I'm here, it's okay that you're feeling. That's all I ask.
Genuinely, humans have always needed each other. With how social we are as creatures, we were never meant to struggle alone. And if you guys ever need help, and you guys know when you need help, you're capable of being happy and finding peace. It's something, unfortunately, that when you struggle with something like this, like, you have to work for it. The grass is greener on the other side. The journey is worth it, I promise you. And I'm saying that as somebody who is passively, extremely, as someone who understands, please seek out the help. Broken mind is going to convince you that people don't care. I promise you, more people care than you know.
Well, I felt that was definitely well said. The father's speech showing who they were, and honestly, I agree. We need to go ahead and keep out there, for more of the Ashleys, the others who feel that way and listen, you know. How do we feel about this? Let's go around the circle here and start off with Sora.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, it's a bit noisy on my end. Can you repeat the question one more time?
So with everything that we've heard from the video, through everything that took place with Ash and so forth, like how do we feel about that in the community, especially in the cosplay community, that we need to listen. We need to make sure that if someone's struggling, that we're paying attention to help out.
I mean, my emotions on it, I'm mad, personally. I'm mad that we're even having this conversation. I'm mad. I'm upset that, I'm disappointed that the cosplay community there's no tight reins on this right now. And it's like, there's some illusion that it's, in some communities there might be, some communities there's not. And that people still don't understand that this is still happening, that this did happen. This is still happening even today. That, I'm mad. I'm genuinely mad. The cosplay community, the cosplay and anime community need to do better, even as a whole, not just in this fandom, not in that fandom, not in the all of it. All of it needs to do better because this is this this is unacceptable. This isn't something that we should just say, oh, let's just take a couple days, think about it, and then just go back to business as usual. Um, sorry, go back to business as usual. This shouldn't have been happening in the first place. It has been happening. This should be stopped. It's not going to take a day, but we need to, because I'm mad. I'm mad at this. I'm mad at the community. I'm mad. I'm still here, but I'm just mad at this. It's so frustrating. It's upsetting, and there's like a lot of raw emotions since I've even heard about the news. And I'm just like, as someone that's had similar comments said to me, I mean, and it doesn't stop, but it needs to. So that's there's so much to say.
It's true.
How about you guys?
Like,
Am I next? Okay, I wasn't sure. Oh no, you're good. Um, Much like Sora, I'm also very upset that something like this continues to happen. And I don't want to lay blame on anyone within the cosplay community that could have spoken up like in the past about certain things. Like before we even started recording this, we had talked about how representation of people of color in the past um, conventions, it just wasn't there. And I know for me personally, I'm the type of person, I'm going to show up regardless. That's just who I am personally, but everybody's not like that. But I also know the role that I play in life. Like I know for a fact that I'm a leader and I know that my words have power. And so I know when I show up in certain places, I know things are going to happen. There are certain things that are going to fly with me. And there are certain things that are not going to fly with me. Fly pity cosplay. Some of it's not going to happen. Some of it's not going to happen. But with things like this, it really hurts me because it's like this girl was 20 years old with so much potential, and it breaks my heart that they felt that this was their only option at the moment. And so my goal personally is to be more encouraging to the community because I know when I first started and when a lot of people start, we're really focused on ourselves and we're real focused on how can I get out there, how can I get people to notice me, and you're doing all kinds of things to get noticed, the hashtags, the clever captions, the editing process, trying to make friends with everybody as you can. And then you're like, oh, I can't be friends with everybody because apparently there's a cap and I can't do that, things like that. um But I think as I've gotten older within the cosplay community, I've noticed that there just aren't a lot of cosplayers acting as a voice of help. You know what I mean? They're not like saying, "Hey, if you're a cosplayer, here are some XYZ tips." You know, you see it every now and then, but there's not like a main voice that's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make it my business to be an example of how I survived, in the cosplay world, and just those tips, of helping other cosplayers, to find confidence in themselves, because this is a confidence thing. This is a confidence thing. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you're not going to be able to do all the things that you need to do to be a cosplayer. And when you don't know that, it can be tough, and you can bash yourself, not extend yourself grace. You're like, well, how come my stuff don't look like theirs, and how come? No, you don't compare yourself, especially when you first start. You are where you are, and the only reason why you're there is because you're brand new. You're new to the game, and if you want help, you need to ask for help. But a lot of people don't know how to do that, and so things like this is a great opportunity for those who've been in the game to be like, hey, let me tell you about my experience. Let me tell you some tips about all the things that I've had to do in order to get through, because we're not going to be here forever. And I personally do not want the next generation that's coming up. I got young nieces who are going to be doing stuff because they like what I do. And I don't want them to live in a world where they are constantly having to look over their shoulder in on the internet. I don't want that for them. I want them to be able to be free in who they are and do whatever they want without having to wonder, oh, I wonder if so and so is going to comment on my post and make me feel a certain type of way. So that's kind of where I am right now. Like, this is a moment for all of us to really reflect and be like, okay, yes, I'm a cosplayer, but why am I really a cosplayer at this point? And really take to heart that people are literally watching us, for the negative part and also for the good part. But there are also kids that are watching us, you know, even though they're not technically supposed to be online or whatever, but some of them are. And we're examples no matter what. No matter if we ever talk to them, ever see them. We may never ever see any of the kids that we're reaching on the internet. But because they saw the confidence that we had to post whatever picture, do whatever skit, that gave them the spark to say, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. That type of thing. So that's kind of where I am with that. Um and it, like, again, it's so unfortunate that we're even having to come together to even talk about stuff like this, because this is art. Cosplay at its most simple form is art. And art, just like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder. And when people don't understand that, that's when outside forces get to come inside, and other voices, try to confuse you. Um, and so I do believe that as a cosplayer myself, that those who've been in the game, we really need to step it up and really make our voices heard, because we have the platform, we have followers, no matter how big or small it is. It doesn't matter how many you have, all can make a difference. And if that little difference can help save a life, so be it. Whether it keeps them on this side or just keeps them pushing to continue to be the best cosplayer that they can be, let's do that for them.
Definitely well said. All right. How do you weigh in on this?
In my opinion, it's very upsetting, and at the same time, a little angry because as a cosplayer, you are you're you're representing yourself of doing something you love. That's what I believe. You are doing things you love, and when people say things and you know they don't know how that person's going to feel about it. You know, you have to really, to me, you have to be careful, but at the same time, also try. If you see someone struggling or somebody needing help, I think at the same time try to be there for them. Try to encourage them to keep going. That's the best thing I think that should be done. Say, hey, keep on going, keep doing what you love, and don't let anybody get you down. But as a cosplayer, this one is really take too hard though, and it makes you actually kind of think of, you know, think about, hey, keep on going. That's what I believe. Just keep on going.
Completely agree. When I first saw the post about that, I was heartbroken. I was angry, and it reflected like I got black friends that are cosplayers. I've got trans friends. I've got all different types. And what if it was one of them? What if someone else is doing that? And it just it hit, and that's why I reached out and I wanted to do this episode and bring people together, that felt the same way. And I was met with a lot of people like yourselves who were like, yes, let's talk about this. Let's express how this is, how we believe, how we feel. Sorry, I'm rambling on words. I apologize. But, and then I was met with a couple comments stating the fact that, well, if you don't have a POC, you shouldn't even do it. Leave it alone. And I actually started having problems sleeping last night before doing this episode because I started letting it get to me. And then that's when it hit me. This is exactly what they were dealing with. Is it racism? Yes. But is it bullying as well? Absolutely. Bullying a person just because of the fact that they can't change the color of their skin for something they love is just as detrimental as the fact of, just being racist. And we need to do better. And like you said, it's not going to be done in a night. It's not going to be done in a week. It's going to take some time, but we need to better ourselves. But on that point that you guys mentioned, about bringing light into cosplay, another video surfaced as well that was brought to my attention. And this one here was actually one of their teachers. And just to shows how passionate they were about the cosplay community and life and what they decided to bring to their teacher. And I'd love to share this with you.
Another video I wanted you guys to see from Ash's service was their gender studies teacher's speech, which had me bawling my eyes out also severely. I really want you guys to take this time to really listen to the things that she is saying. I want this to resonate with all of you because what she's saying is so beautiful and a message everybody needs to hear.
I'm Samantha. I'm Ashley's gender studies advisor at UCLA. So her cosplay friends are right. It's not every day that you see a black girl cosplay. And as an advisor, I'm not supposed to choose favorites as students, but when that soul walked into my office with that smile and those two little pigtails, and she told me she wanted to do a research project about cosplay, yes, we're doing it. So I just want to express the love that the UCLA community shares. Her professors are here, her friends are here. She was a light that will stay. And another person said, it's your reminder to live, because when she showed up, she said, I want to graduate early and I want to do research. And I was like, babe, those things don't mix. So when she chose the site to do research, I personally was excited because I have a black daughter who loves cosplay, so she will live on. And this is your reminder to go after what you want. The cousins, the family. Look, it's been a struggle because black folks, we grieve a different way, and I've been holding it all inside until I got in here and was like, yeah. So no, Ash is loved and her light will shine, and take every moment and every second to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, because there's one life.
To know that at a young age that they felt that powerful about something is just absolutely amazing. And now we'll never know how far they could have gone. And honestly, I believe they could have gone all the way and really made a huge difference.
Yeah, I believe that as well. Hmm, this was so hard to watch again. I actually, in all honesty, I avoided watching that video because it was just so much happening, and I was like, "Oh, here we go. We're watching it. We gotta listen." But it's so needed and it's so necessary um, to understand that. Y'all, I'm losing it at the moment.
It's
Take
all
your
uh,
good.
time. I
I
completely
mean, I
understand.
got you.
mm,
It's okay.
It's just really sad. The more, like, from the teacher's perspective, and like all, like, so I know that they went to like Anime Los Angeles or ALA, and it's like we were both at the same con at the same time, 2023. Though maybe a different meetups and all that kind of stuff. And then I couldn't go to 2024, but my goal was to go to 2025. And seeing a lot of their cosplays, they were in the local area. It was like the excitement of getting ready to go to ALA and like sharing that cosplay passion that was like literally blowing my mind. Like especially like the Genshin Impact cosplays, I was like, I'm new to Genshin Impact cosplaying, at least not the game. I'm pretty poor at the game, but seeing those cosplays, I was like, I'm gonna go to the Genshin Impact meetup and like, it would be a great chance to like really meet up, have a good conversation, and it's like, it's like I've seen their videos, seen our circles of people have met each other, and like I said, we just missed in that 2023, and now it's like that opportunity is now gone. The passion to hear what they were going to bring to the cosplay community and stuff like that is just, you know, it's it's not fair.
yeah, yeah. I think I got my words together now a little
You
bit.
got it. All righty.
Yeah. Thank you for the cover.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
Bang bang.
Uh, so I was actually friends with Ash on Instagram, and I was literally in the middle of putting a collab together. I do a lot of different collabs where I do like different themes and invite people from literally all across the globe, to participate in it and everything. And I was like literally about to invite her, and then I got the news, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's hitting me on a whole different level because I was like, I was literally about to ask her, ask Ash to come and be a part of it. And now it's like, you know? So, like the teacher said, Ash's legacy will definitely live on. And it is my hope that people will continue to cosplay no matter what. And that's literally one of the hashtags that my followers know that I use all the time. I cosplay who I want. And that basically just came from the fact of I got tired of people talking. And I was like, I'm cosplaying who I want. You can cosplay who you want. I'm gonna cosplay who I want. If you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation, but don't come at me sideways because we're not gonna do that. I know who I am. I know that you are also a person and that you are also affected by words. So I'm not going to use my words that have so much power to bring you down as well. And that's a different dynamic and a different mindset to have. But I also know that comes with maturity and age a lot of times with older cosplayers. And I know there are some younger cosplayers, they got that same thing too, but everybody doesn't have that. And so I'm just making it my personal goal just to be helpful in any way possible, especially in certain cases like Ash. So yeah.
And what is your thoughts?
Um, in my
Mostly,
thoughts,
okay.
in my thoughts, you know, I just want to say, just keep on cosplaying, and it shouldn't matter the gender, shouldn't matter the race, shouldn't matter about anything. You're bringing, it's about you, and it's not about others. It's nice that you have followers and all that good stuff, but in this situation, you know, it also could be a lesson for others. Don't let things get to you. Just keep on going. That's my opinion. And my condolences to her friends and family. I want to put that out there. My condolences.
Absolutely. It's hard to fathom it, and
Hmm.
whether you know a person or not, whether seen some of their work or you're just brand new to it, but it's definitely something no one ever wants to wake up to or find out. I mean, there are other ways, but this one right here, I mean, it happens. There's nothing we can do about it, but it's hard to put into words at times, and that's why I feel it needs to be discussed. I've seen so many people posting about it, and a lot of the things I've said have been heartbreaking but heartwarming at the same time. The love and the support, but it's definitely not a subject that you'd want to have everyone bring to you together. You'd rather it be on more of a positive note, but here we are, and I don't know honestly what else to say at this point because it's hard to get the words together. I mean, Flypenny definitely went ahead and put it together. Sora, all of you right there, Bloodstained Dio. So at this point right here, it's just Ash, wherever you are, you will not be forgotten. Now, of course, people nowadays, like you mentioned, young kids, you don't want them to come up into this society the way it is right now, and we'd like to better ourselves. What are some things that we could possibly do? I mean, we know we can't govern everything. There's no possible way. But as a person, individual, a cosplayer, especially in this community, what are things that we could do? Any thoughts?
Um,
Go ahead.
I've got one. The best thing to do if you know somebody, if I know it's kind of not possible to see everything, but if you know that they're being picked on, or if they are needing help, and you're seeing that they need help, try to approach the person and say, "Hey, I'm here for you. Keep going with your cosplay, and never mind the negative. Keep on being positive. I'm here for you if you need anything. Just be there for each other."
I gotta go say my piece for my kids come back in here, but pretty much, like the question was like if you think you know somebody that might be needing some help or something, right? So know this: if you do see a person like a cosplayer of color, or know that they are 100%, they have gotten comments, either past, present, soon to be future. It's what we're trying to change. But until we make a full change on it, just know that they are. So be somebody that goes onto their page and be the better voice in that comment. You see that, you say, oh yeah, I follow them on Instagram or TikTok or whatever social media. And, leave a comment if you see their post that day. If you happen to be scrolling, just say something nice. You don't have to be you don't have to just wait till they get those negative comments to be like, well, I'm going to be keyboard warrior to rebuttal. Sorry, there's so much noise. to be keyboard warrior, to rebuttal and go fight their battle for them. Be something better than that. Be the person that just says, hey, I like your cosplay today. It's really nice. Or, oh my gosh, is that series? Or, I don't know that series, but I want to know it. You did a great job. Be the better voice in that. And so that when they get that notification, they're getting more positive notification, even if it's just one or two, than just waiting for that negative or waiting for them to go viral. And then they get swamped with all the negative comments. Be that first person to leave a positive comment, and that's how we do better. How you can help that person, because again, it maybe for us it may not seem outwardly. We may be quick to delete our comments. We may be putting on our front, but it's not that we're not getting those comments. And sometimes we may not get any comments, and then we just get the one that's the negative comment. I mean, like, be the one that's putting those positive comments, even if it's just a quick second. Just be like, nice cosplay, move on. You don't have to you don't have to go fully on the DMs, or I mean, it just depends how close you are. But yeah, just be forward and just put a good note for them. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think for us to be better, we all just need to be transparent about our story, about our journey. And because some people knowingly and unknowingly assume that if you don't post anything about it, that you're not going through it. And then it's not until you post about it, they're like, oh, I didn't realize that you were going. They may not say that, but it's like an internal thing, like, oh, they're going through that too. And if people see that we all struggle, but yet we're still here, that gives hope and that sparks hope. So I think we as cosplayers just need to be more transparent in what we do, and not just be like, oh, I posted my picture, I got my video, I'm done, and not want to reach back out to the community that's following you, because whether you realize it or not, you've made a community. Whether you got 5 followers or 13,000 followers, that's your community. And so building that relationship with the community also gives way for change to happen as well. Like when things like this happen, people may not, there's still some people who don't know that this has even happened.
Hmm.
And by us talking about it, it brings awareness. And so just being transparent, with things like that, I think that will definitely help the cosplay community. And just speaking our truth, in love and not hate, will definitely better the cosplay community.
Absolutely. Well, we've probably all had different experiences at the cons where, someone might have yelled out something that was negative, others saying stuff that's positive, but on the internet, it's a whole different story because you don't gauge how the words could be. I mean, sometimes the words sound like they could mean something detrimentally bad, like, oh my God, I can't believe that you did something like that. But could actually be perceived if the person was talking that, oh, well, I think you might have wanted to do a little bit different. That's what you were talking about, and if we don't have the context, it's worse because sometimes our minds they run with the negative. We don't think the positive first, we think the negative. And I think maybe we should probably, kind of watch a little bit what we say, but not so much as censor ourselves completely, but just realize, could it be perceived differently? Maybe take a different angle to it. But definitely be positive. I love the fact that you mentioned right there, just be there, say something. Even if it's just for a moment, you see someone cosplaying, hey, there you are, love it. You're there. You're doing what you keep it up. That positivity is amazing and definitely well worth. Now, on any other subjects along the lines of this right here, does anyone else have anything else they'd free to talk about in general? Yes.
Um, yeah, just in general, just want to say, keep on going with passion, and always, just stop by and say hello to others, and I hope that I hope that to continue doing what you love. If I said that correctly, just continue doing what you love. And I think that's what Ash would want to keep going. She's looking down.
Yeah, she's making sure that we actually follow in her footsteps.
Hmm.
We may not
Hmm.
have all known her. We may have only known just a little bit, but just
Yeah.
that little bit that we've seen so far has hit on a different level. Some people don't even make that impact, and they've been it for years. And here comes someone that literally just has a passion that hits you and resonates on a different level.
Hmm.
How about you, Flypenny?
I would say in general, just to throw it out there, don't be afraid to fail. Um, because you can learn from your failures. Um, I am a recovering perfectionist. And so I used to be to the point where if I didn't think it was perfect, I was not going to post it. Like, example, I had a cosplay that I did a couple years ago, a Star Wars character. It was my first time doing body paint, and y'all, I jacked that thing up. I was like, "Woo, girl, what you doing here?" But I was at the point, where I was like, I need to at least say I'm not proud of what I've done, but I was also like, yo, I'm going to put this out there anyway and let people know, hey, your cosplay does not have to be perfect, because that was another issue that's going on in the cosplay community. There are some who may not have, you know, the funds to get that super expensive cosplay, or some may not have the skills to do that really dope editing, and they don't want to show what they have. And for me, I was like, no, I'm gonna put it out there just to let somebody know, hey, I put my stuff out there. This is not my typical stuff, but I'm just letting you know I be struggling too. So
Mm-hmm.
I must put that out there. Learn from your failures. You don't have to be ashamed of them. Be like, hey, this is what I did, and this is how I'm going to get better at it. So don't be afraid to fail. Use it as motivation to keep pushing.
I agree with that. As you said, like, cosplay is expensive. Okay, if we had $1 for every comment we had that said you need to do better, maybe we would have the money to make it better. Maybe, I don't know. But you know what? You should be cosplaying for yourself, not for this, not for that, not for whoever. You should be doing it for yourself, because that's where the love is going to come from. It comes from yourself, and you share that with others. And I mean, rather they know what it is, they love it, they hate it, whatever, as long as you're doing it for you, you can't go wrong with that, because you're making yourself happy, and that's what should be number one. I was mentioning before, I now before, when I was like really starting out, I was doing a lot of like popular stuff because I mean, I enjoyed it and everything. But like even now, I do like a lot of like random nichey things. I think the last couple of cosplays I've done was like from like Shoot in Order or the 100 line, or even Blood Money, as I did Harvey Harvington. And I mean, like, I just did that for myself. And if people liked it, so be it. If people even knew what it was, even better. We would be friends if you knew what my niche things were. But at the end of the day, I did it for me, because I was like, I obsess into it. If I see a character that I'm like, yeah, I'm cosplaying that character, I'll be like, drop everything. And that's why I have so many projects that need to be finished. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. As I just started another cosplay I don't need to do. But I'm just like, but I'm doing it for me, because I want to get it done. Not because the community demands for it or this, that, or whatever. I mean, like, the other thing is, speaking of community demand, again, let's say you want to cosplay somebody, that's fine. You don't have to cosplay whatever character people want you to think, they think you're doing. Like, trust me, I've gotten the Yoruichi, I've gotten the Miracos, I've gotten the Canaries, I've gotten now within got the new anime Gachi Akuta. They're like, you want to be Samey? And I'm just like, well, I love her, but by the way, but why are you asking me specifically? Oh, I see. But just because, you see it, but like, wouldn't I not also be great to be, what was it, Rudo? Wouldn't I make a good Rudo? I think I would. I think I would. I think I'd be great for 50 other characters outside of the one. You know what I mean? So don't put
Yeah.
yourself in a box. If you want to cosplay who you want to cosplay, regardless if somebody else is like, yeah, you should actually do this character. Don't do it for you. Cosplay for yourself. Enjoy. If you find people that enjoy it along the way, perfect. The people that don't enjoy it, bye Felicia. They can go. The door is that way. Send them on their way. They can go. They can go find something else. Yeah.
Swipe left.
I'm out. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Stage left.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, like, why do you need? We don't need to keep them here. I mean, like I said, other things I'm now cosplaying a lot is a lot of characters because, as I said, I do have service animals, service dogs, and so I'm more interested in doing characters that do have canine companions because I think it's a good match. And I mean, plus it's really cute. So, being that representation, but also bringing my own happiness to life is really cool. Working on that Cheza costume, but I mean, I'm working on it. She's over there. Bodysuit is not really my type, but But
Fair.
again, I'm doing it for me because I want to have fun. And if it brings back everybody's childhood memories, so be it. But it's all about you. So do you have fun until you're done, and then go on and do the next thing that brings you happiness. Don't let somebody else take your happiness away in cosplay, because cosplay is mostly for everybody. But the people that if you can't stick with us and be a community, again, the door is that way. The cosplay is not for you. Our community is not for you. You can leave.
Well said. Now, of course, I have a couple things here. You mentioned about, not all of us have the money for cosplay, so some of them don't look exactly, and I actually have a couple of photos that I took of my previous cosplays, and I'm more of a budget cosplayer, so I don't have a lot that goes towards them, and I'll repurpose what I can. But if you're familiar with My Hero Academia, I went as Overhaul, but I didn't have the jacket at the time. I do now, but here's just a couple to showcase.
Nice.
I love it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Look at it.
See,
Wonderful.
See, and that's the other thing. Cosplay is expensive, but it's not about money.
mhm.
Exactly.
It's expensive, but it's not about money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
That-
if you can
that chainsaw.
closet cosplay is cosplay. Halloween costumes are cosplay. Any
Yep.
cosplay is cosplay. Rather you buy it, you make it, commission it, it pulls out of your grandmama's closet, you get it at the don't grave rob nobody, but
Ooh, please
True.
no.
Yes.
Please no.
Well,
grave rob nobody. Like, I need that
No.
vintage suit from back in the 60s or whatever. I don't know.
well, for
Don't be
me,
grave
I
robbing
also,
nobody.
I also
By
do
60s, I mean 1860s, not 1960s. God, that ain't that far.
Yep.
But cosplay is cosplay. All right.
Exactly.
It don't matter
cosplay
where
too.
it comes from, as long as you are being you and true to you. That's what's important. Because I know there's people, as you mentioned, you put together your stuff, and just because you don't make it and you don't pull it out of bibbity boppity boo's bag doesn't mean that it's any less. Now, again, when it comes to cosplay contests, as we mentioned before, those are different rules and different standards, and that is for competition. But if you're going to be on the floor, you're going to be at the mall, you're going to be at Walmart, TikTok, down the street, man, have at it. Have fun. Unless you go to
Yep.
Disneyland, and they be like, don't be at
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
cosplay.
Definitely not. But I did have a question for you, Sora.
Yeah.
What kind of service animal do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it's a dog.
What
But
kind?
they have husky in them. They have a little bit of wolf in them. But mostly husky Malamute mixes. So yes, they
Okay.
do. They have a very wolfy look to them. So when we did do Koga from Inuyasha, I was Koga, and I have my wolf demon tribe without people, just the wolves and everything. It was a very sight to see. I did get a lot of stuff on TikTok that was mostly good. So I'm like, it's fine because again, Koga's acceptable, but like, they do different tasks. There's two that is trained, they do tandem, and then two that are in training because my oldest is getting old and she's going to retire, and the other one's going to take over, and kind of rotate like that. So it's kind of like a constant training. I just do the training myself and everything like that with some like assistants and stuff. But one of the things that is not in service dog training is going to an anime convention. But as you know, like with service animals, they accompany their handlers, and they should be able to, service animals give like independence to their handlers. So if their handler wants to go to an anime convention, then doing training to understand that people do go in costumes, even in fursuits. There's different kinds of people, different kinds of settings that happen at a convention that may not happen when you're going to like Target or something. Generally, some Targets or Walmarts, but there's a different thing, and so there's a lot that goes in with that. But like like I mentioned before we even started, that there are some issues that come along with that, where there are some people that those same people that would say negative comments about the way that you cosplay or whatever, they would also find a negative way to say, well, I do compete in competitions. If depending on the costume that I do perform in, sometimes my service dog has a little bit more of an active role into it. Sometimes they're just kind of there, being the support that whatever I needed and something like that. And it just depends because, again, as a person with disabilities as well, I have the right to do whatever I want in that situation, as long as my animal is obviously in control and is calm. I wouldn't put a stressed dog in a situation, but some of the negative comments that were related to it were like, you can't. I have actually been kicked out of a competition because they thought it would not be fair because not everybody can have their dog on stage with them. Like, like there's a reason why I have a dog in the first place. I mean, if everybody wants to have a disability, sure, so be it. But whatever. But even with those kinds of things, or even online, they're just like, oh, look at that, this, that, or whatever. Or my dogs do cosplay, by the way. I don't have pictures to show in a slideshow, but if you ever go look on my pages or something, you might see a couple pictures. Like we did like an anime called Don Da Don, and I did Momo. I've gotten comments, but I've done Momo and I loved it. And my dogs were like human and yokai, ghosts, or whatever. Okarun made the whole full thing. And I mean, like, that's craftsmanship in that, but it's just like, people will be like, but Momo isn't black. And I'm like, well, she black today. She black today. I even made a TikTok about that. It was funny. But, we got sidetracked on it again. But either way, like I was going back to it, I mean, making costumes, buying costumes, mysteriously acquiring costumes, however they be, if you were gonna cosplay, then just go for it. I mean, there's no shame in it. There's no shame unless you're shaming somebody else. And again, the door.
Yep,
You want to talk something nasty about somebody, is that you're cosplayer, like now if you are taking credit for cosplays, that's different. If you commission a cosplay, this is usually, again, back with the contest related thing, but even online, if you are commissioning something and then you are claiming it as your own and stealing credit, that's not okay. Or if you are misrepresenting the quality of that item, saying somebody put in a whole lot of work to commission you and you say it was trash, that's unacceptable, kind of thing. So be honest with your cosplays, but at the same time, just there's no judgment. But I think that's mostly kind of like a US thing, honestly, because like when I was in Japan, everybody just puts on costumes. Like half of them are made, half of them are bought, half of them are just hanging on by hot glue, and we're just hot glue and prayers and chopsticks. And I mean, listen, it's still cosplay. I mean, you don't have to do all makeup, you don't have to do your hair, you don't have to cosplay as you want. Just have fun. Some people, I wear contacts and do makeup and wigs and stuff like that because that helps me to put on my character together. My friend, she doesn't do wigs, she doesn't do makeup, she doesn't do contacts, but she does cosplay, and she has a great time. And that's 100% A-okay. We have a great time together. So just like, don't feel pressured to do something that you just don't want to do in cosplay. Just have fun. Don't feel pressured of where your cosplay came from. If you just pulled it out of the closet and you're just like, well, it doesn't look as shiny as like if I made this other piece, you'd be like, that's okay. You forgot a piece. You didn't want to add this detail because it's going to be too revealing for you or something. That's okay. That's okay. Stay comfortable. Stay happy. That's all I gotta say.
Definitely well said. Now, of course, we are coming towards the end of the show, and we've covered. What's that?
I said, oh.
I know. As much as I would love to be able to go ahead and carry on and do a lot longer, certain things restrict that, such as life, jobs, and other things. So we got to do what we got to do. We got to keep going on. And I am appreciative for all your responses coming in, being on the show. Your insight, everything, and I can't help but thank you all. For those that had to leave early, I apologize, and for you that stayed, thank you again. Would you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to go ahead and give out to anyone out there watching, new coming into cosplay, veterans in between, any gender, any race, just in general?
Be the community you want to be.
I love that. Definitely, yes.
Yep, be the community you want to be.
Keep on going with cosplay and don't let others get you down.
I would say show up authentically yourself, and that will encourage others to be their authentic selves as well. So be you.
All
For real,
short and
show
sweet.
up. That
Point.
was the biggest thing. Show up.
Yes, like anything, just show up. You guys did, and like I said, I can't help but thank you enough. The episode was definitely for a different reason than it normally is, so this is why it's a special episode. But want to make it aware. Not doing this for views, not doing this for clout or anything. I wanted to do this for awareness. You know, I don't need to be internet famous. I don't need to go ahead and try posting something at someone else's expense. It's not about that. We love this community. We don't even know everyone that's in it, but when we see something, that sparks, like, oh my gosh, the cat ears you have, I mean, that resonates because of people I know. So of course I love it. The way you have your haircut reminds me of certain characters, the hat, and so forth. These are things that are a representation of yourself, your personalities that go ahead to cosplay, to life, to everything. And that's really what we should go ahead and be focusing on, the inclusivity, the enjoyment, and just celebrating people's creativity and what they love, not bring them down. We've had years of going down. Come on, has anyone ever seen a graph before? The idea is to go up. So let's go ahead and bring it up to the world. And yes, I'm sorry, wrong hand, but yep. But yeah, I don't know how else to say it right there, but I want to thank you all again. And of course, for everyone out there watching, thank you. Feel free to comment on this post, how you feel, your thoughts. Let's try to keep it positive at least, and not negative. But and it is freedom of speech, so hey, who am I to go ahead and say? But to go ahead and close this out, I want, of course, like anytime we do this episode, just remember, if you can dream it, believe and create. Thank you, everyone, again, and have a great night.